So, Rodan, the fire monster, the giant flying chicken, the pterodactyl, whatever you want to call it, is one of the more prominent members of the whole Toho sphere of giant monsters. He has made his presence known in many Godzilla movies, including Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, Final Wars, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, and even in the Monsterverse in Godzilla, King of the Monsters. So yeah, he's a prominent part of a whole filmography, and even just part of pop culture, if you will. Okay, not everyone's going to say, name a giant monster, and people are instantly going to say Rodan, but I figure people know enough because of the 2019 movie. So yeah, nothing can stop them. This is also bundled with War of the Gargantuas review coming within time. Ishiro Honda's Rodan, Sora no Daikaiju Radon, aka Rodan the Sky Monster from 1956, is among the most popular films from the era of vintage sci-fi fiction cinema. A small village is besieged by deadly man-eating insects when Shigeru, played by Genji Sahara, travels deep into a mine shaft to exterminate the beast. He makes an even more horrifying discovery: Rodan, the flying monster. Two giant pterodactyls terrorize Japan, soaring through the sky and blowing away cities with wing-whipped gusts. How will the world survive this seemingly unstoppable threat? The triumvirate of Toho, Ishiro Honda, Akira Fubuke, and Eiji Tsuburaya, who, along with the person in the suit, Haruo Nakajima, make the quadumvirate? Yeah, let's go with that. Of just rather great filmmaking. Yes, the closest that here in America would be Ray Harryhausen, but we really don't want to do anything else, so let's just celebrate them both. So anyway, 82 minutes, 1956. This is actually, I think, the first, colorized kaiju movie. And it was impressive to see. And I'm thinking, like, okay, this is going to be in black and white given the era, but no. Good coloring, good special effects. So yeah. This is not unlike, this is like the perfect balance of things. Let me explain. There's some mining going on. They go a little too deep and then bring in these dragonfly larvae, if you will, that are 15 feet across and require 3 actors to operate. Seriously, this thing is massive. But it's also just food for a much bigger threat, as the one and only Rodan appears. And it is up to the town to discover how they're going to handle this just new menace, if you will. That's the word. One of the miners, Shigeru, gets amnesia. And it's a believable character. We actually get to see him acted, like when he sees both the insects and Rodan, he kind of has a little freak out because of the PTSD. And I'm like, this is actually good acting. There's an interesting story going on for once. Yeah, we can actually see the believable human characters. I mean, yeah, there's the brother. Shigeru's got a sister going on. But this isn't a surprisingly adult sci-fi Japanese movie, which I can believe I just said, because that's what it is. I mean, it's interesting because they try and try and look for survivors, so there's going to be a little bit of carnage going around, but when they debate about what to do, what this monster is, things like that, it gets interesting. And I'm just like, good, I want more of this. I want to see something interesting where it's like, yeah, if you're going to go down the Jaws route, have them be interesting. Let there be some people that we care about. Let them try and recover. Let the amnesiac recover full force. As we see an interesting scene of Rodan being born and kind of devour the dragonflies. Let that be seen. Let the special effects come in and have just flex and muscle, you know? Yeah, and it's like for the first 50 minutes, because it's a small mining town, we get some interesting scenes of the mine, of people trying to take care of these dragonflies. But then it gets even more ramped up exactly 45 minutes in when we see Rodan go 1,518 miles per hour, according to Google. And I mean, just swiftly destroys everything. He's a menace. He really is a dang menace. But the highlight, arguably, is about 53 minutes in when all the miniatures, all the tanks, all the missiles come in. It's just explosions. It's destruction. Oh, it's such good stuff. There's a scene where Nakajima's inside the costume, but unfortunately he kind of trips and falls and goes down 25 feet into a river that was designed right there. So that was kind of ugly to say. It's like, oof. I'll tell you, what a sight it is to be. It is a sight just to see everything. Yeah, the fall is really unfortunate, but it's like you look at it, and it's like there's buildings crumble. There are missiles being launched. For 1956, this stuff looks fantastic. I mean, according to IMDb trivia, there isn't like really an HD remaster, but this is like in 720p minus a couple of green screen effects that don't look nearly as bad. I have to say that. I'm like, they really learned from Godzilla and kind of gave it a sense of claustrophobia. There's all claustrophobia effect, everything going on in a small mining town, you know? So it's not like they're traveling from city to city, although Beijing and Taipei, I think, are mentioned or shown here and there. So obviously there is a big budget going on. I don't know how much, but apparently big enough to have, nearly 20 minutes of just explosions and special effects. And the flying, yeah, you can tell Rodan looks kind of they just moved a puppet around. Didn't really move it around much, but the suit itself, there's like bending over with the wings, which kind of made it a little bit difficult for Nakajima to buy, but they made some modifications to which he could maneuver and bring some personality to the monster. Just a nuisance, man. Almost just kind of rhymes with Rick, if you will. Yeah. This is just wow. I mean, eventually, towards the end, how do they manage to subdue Rodan? Well, at least until Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. Trap Moments, they both retreat to a volcano. I said, okay, we're going to erupt this volcano, or destroy, topple, make a cave-in happen. Fire a whole bunch of missiles. There's just explosions all around. Eventually, they just manage to activate the eruption, and they die in a gruesome way. I mean, just the force of the volcano just brings down these, 2,000-ton monsters, and they just go in the lava, man. It's just like, wow. You know, it's just like, it's a rather violent way to go, but after being a nuisance, yeah. But at the same time, when the camera cuts to them, cuts to the crew seeing the monsters just get eviscerated, yeah, I can't help but feel kind of sorry for them. He's such a truly violent demise, and it's just like, what the heck, man? So, you know, it's like, yeah, costume is great, monsters are great. If I had to say anything, yeah, the violence may be some off-putting. Don't show this to kids. I mean, if they're like 10 or something, they can probably handle it, but it's just surprising. And again, you know, it's like, if you're not used to like a Japanese language, it may take a little bit getting used to everything, but really those are the only two faults that I can find: the violence and the kind of just standard dish performances. But then again, this is something that kind of shows, like, in between, like, when they're doing all the other monsters, like, Toho really knew what they were doing with the Quadriumvirate. So if you want a great entry to see where Rodan appears. If you want to see where one of the more famous monsters, then I recommend that you watch the Japanese cut of Rodan.